Hey, what is up, guys? We are back with hashtag 31. Hashtag 30 was a bit of a farce due to plans that were just destroyed by drunken behaviour and French-made outfits. As always, I am your host, Jace. I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Squeak. How are you, sir?
I am good.
You feeling human again?
Yeah, I was gonna say, last weekend I was not.
It's one of those where I didn't realise just how friendly Newcastle was.
Yeah,
It's just the most
it really
friendly
was
place
though.
I've ever been.
Like,
And 24-hour subway. We need some of those in Bristol, man.
I know, I found that really weird, you know.
Do you know, it's the way that it was a 24-hour subway that had like bouncers, yeah. But I just loved the way that like there was two, yeah. There was one that was like this young guy, proper jobs worth. Like I went in, so on the first night, everybody's like rounding up. I was like, oh, I'm hungry, so and Ellis goes, you hungry? Do you need food? I'm like, yeah. He's like, don't worry, I'm gonna round the man them up and we'll go get some food. I'm like, okay. He walks off. I was like, do you know what? I want some food. I just walked out. Like in my drunken state, I just walked out the club and went to get Subway. then yeah, it was just one of them where like, I remember coming out and then you lot all went in and then I went to go in. I'm just stood there. My son was like, are you queuing? I'm like, no, I'm not queuing. He's like, if you're not queuing, you've got to wait outside. I'm like, I just bought a Subway. Like I'm eating the Subway I just bought. Can't I wait for those lot? No, you got to wait outside. So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Like I can't bother to argue. Like it's cool. Went outside. Then the other bouncer, this like older woman, come out. And I was just chatting to her for ages. And she's just like, yeah, he's kind of new. He takes his job really serious. Da da da. But I remember on the next night, I come in, and then like again, it was one of those, we're at the club, people was like, should we get food? I'm like, yeah, okay. Then I think it was, I can't remember who. Somebody was like, oh yeah, let's check if everybody wants food. And I just walked into Subway. But this time, because I had a good relationship with the woman, yeah, like I was chatting to her, and I just went and walked into the middle of the queue, and people was complaining that I pushed in. I looked at her and she's like, no, we didn't push in. I'm like, cool.
Nah,
So-
that's the way forward, isn't it? Make friends with the bouncers, man.
Exactly. But yeah, Newcastle was awesome, man. So I mean, like, yeah, aside from the weekend, can't really go into it too much. How has your week been since the weekend?
Really dry. Really dry. Like I've been back, and it's one of those. I'm just sat here like, what now?
That's
Right.
the thing. I think obviously I'm not going to show stuff on the stag on the podcast, but just one part of it was the bar crawl. We ended up in a club, and just the first receipt. It wasn't even the final receipt. The first receipt was so emotional. It was a really good weekend. So thanks to my boys for giving me such an awesome weekend, and thank you to Newcastle for hosting us. So yeah, we'll just crack on with the show.
Yeah.
So I was looking around trying to find, because I keep trying to find different things, because at the moment it seems to be, we'll go into them a bit later on, but it seems to be headed up by like the big shooters seems to be holding a lot of the headlines at the moment. But then I noticed that there was a thing saying that Sonic the Hedgehog, Space Invaders, Zelda, GTA 3, and I think it was The Sims, are all being inducted into the Strong Museum's Video Game Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So I think it's got to the list. It's those games plus Super Mario Bros, Pac-Man, Tetris, and World of Warcraft. So it's just pretty cool how they'll be in the museum forever now.
I don't want to be like, but I sort of Space Invaders. I see why it's there. Sonic, classic. GTA 3. I don't know.
The thing is, GTA 3 kind of.
I know it sort of shaped it and molded it because it was sort of the first.
Yeah, because from what
Do
it
you know what I
said,
mean?
it's those games that have been influential and had like an impact on the gaming industry. And like GTA 3, when it came out, sold 14 million copies, which back then,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? That's quite a mad amount
That's
of
the
units.
thing when you think as well. Back then, gaming isn't what it was today.
Yeah, gaming
It was a
wasn't what it is today. I think that sentence went a bit backwards. Are you still drunk?
Wait.
It's a whole week later.
Wait. Well, I don't even know what I said anymore. Like it's not what it was.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait. I'm confused.
Gaming now is a lot bigger than
It's
it was.
different. It's fucking different. Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking different. Like now everybody does it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like when you think back in the day, it'd either be like, I don't know, man. You'd be sort of, I don't want to say privileged if you had a fucking game console.
No, but I know what you mean,
like,
though.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody
Yeah.
had one. It's one of those as well, where, like, people would tend to go to a certain friend's house because he had whatever.
Yeah.
So I remember, like, my friend Kelvin, we used to always go to Kelvin's house because Kelvin's dad had the chipped PlayStation, so we could always play the chipped games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, then I had a chipped PlayStation, so we were able to swap games and stuff. Then when the 360 came out, like, Kelvin, the other Squeak, he is the only person, like, he was the first person, that I knew to get an Xbox 360. CEX had one imported and he bought it, and he spent, like, you know when the consoles first came out and it was like stupid money, he bought it. He was the first person. Like, everybody around is playing that Perfect Dark and was it Cameo? Yeah, Cameo and something else. Whatever the first few games, like, he was one of the first people to have a 360. But, like, you know, now it's not like back then. It was like, oh my days, he's got it, that's sick. Whereas now it's kind of like part and parcel. Like, oh yeah, I'll get a console, I got it now.
Yeah.
So,
It's not like something special, is it? I mean, shit, all my first consoles were all hand-me-downs. Like,
that's the thing, I just remember, like, growing up, it was always, like, my stepdad that wanted the consoles, so then I would kind of get it. I remember when my mum told me, like, years later, she was like, when they first got me my first NES, and they basically, it was that classic thing of, oh, you have to test it, so they take it out of the box, make sure they know how to put it all together, make sure they know how to play it, so that when I want to play it, they can help me. And Mum said, like, they bought it in, like, the summer, and every night when I went to sleep, they'd be plugging it in and playing it. Playing, like, classic Super Mario and Duck Hunt, and it was playing it every night, she said. And, like, if I ever woke up, like, in the flat, my bedroom was sort of, like, we had, like, the front door, it sort of turned the corner and had a long hallway. My bedroom was first, and then living room was at the end of the long hallway. So they'd, like, have it set up so that if they heard me, they had to, like, head me off at the living room door. I could not know that there was a NES, and they'd racked in, like, so much gameplay before I opened it at Christmas, like. But it's funny because if you go fast forward, if parents were doing that with 360s, with the original cycle of 360s, the kid would have got it and it would have red lighted if the parents played it like that.
The funny thing is, it's the way that, like, I remember PlayStation 1 and stuff and those kind of graphics, you get excited over it. Like, and it's sort of like, you look now and people are complaining about, like, I don't know, like, all these games now, and it's sort of like...
The thing that's weird is how, like, graphics are always improving, they're always getting better, they're always more realistic, there's always, like, there's always the improvement. I remember when, I can't remember who it was, I think it was one of my stepdad's friends, bought a PS2, and he bought it over here, and unboxed it. I remember, like, we plugged it all in, and then, at the beginning of Tekken, it had, like, the opening cutscene, Tekken Tag Tournament. And I remember there was like a car crash on it. And I remember looking at it for a second. I was like, is the TV still on or is this the game? But it's really funny to think that of like PS2 graphics.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's just odd, like, because it's
like,
one of those...
Were our eyes just fucked?
Yeah.
Like back in the day. Playing N64. Wow, these graphics are so realistic. You look back now and just like...
The thing is now, graphics are getting so, like, good and stuff, but where can you really go with it? Because I think if it looked lifelike, I don't think people would like games like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, obviously they tried the 3D thing as the next step, and that didn't really, because of the technology that was needed, and then, like, you know, you needed to wear glasses to get the effect of 3D, it kind of didn't.
It's almost that accessibility again, isn't it? With, like, almost like the VR. That's
the thing, I think that's why VR has become sort of the next step, because with VR, even though on some of the VR games, like if you watch them, the graphics aren't that great on there, it's immersive because it's reactive to your body movements. Like, you move your head and it's moving.
It's like that video where you see that guy trying out, I think it's Oculus, on a roller coaster sort of thing, and then they push him and he freaks the fuck out. And the thing is, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't do that. But at the same time, I'm thinking, shit, in saying that, like, if you get pushed, you can find your balance, innit? Because got your focal point. But if your head is moving, so say like your brain thinks you're moving, how the fuck do you get your balance like that?
Yeah, no idea.
Like he looked
No
like a baby
idea.
deer on ice. Like that was so funny. Even when people was grabbing him, he was like fucking. But yeah, that video.
I think it'd be interesting to see if they take like there's a lot of money being pumped into VR, but there was a lot of money pumped into like 3D TVs and stuff, like the tech on that. It'd be really cool if VR does take off. It'd be interesting to see where they go with it. Because if they were to take it like, like video game high school, taking that kind of theory of whether it shows them in the games and it's the person running around doing it. Obviously, I know they're on a keyboard, but if it was like that, if esports started to become a thing where it was 2 teams of 5 people in VR playing the game, it'd be a whole different ball game.
You know what I want to see more of? The HoloLens. Like, they showed you a glimpse of it. Because I wouldn't really call it VR, but it looks...
It's like a middle ground, isn't it?
It's really weird.
Because I wanted to see more come from that Google Glass and stuff, but I haven't really seen much.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so it's just pretty cool how things are developing. Talking about like the esports thing, I seen obviously the English Premier League season is coming to an end. Now, West Ham have signed, like, they're the first Premier League team to sign an esports player. So
why?
So they've signed this lad. Let me just find his name. So they've signed this lad, and he's Sean Allen, who's like his gamer tag is Dragon with 2 N's. They've signed him so that he plays like FIFA in tournaments and stuff. So now, whenever he plays FIFA, like he's a West Ham player. Like he is shirt number 50, and yeah, they're paying him to represent them in esports when it comes to FIFA.
That's really weird.
It's weird, but it makes sense. It makes sense because if you think FIFA obviously has the licensing over football teams and stuff like that, and they have these tournaments, and esports is growing and growing and growing, and they've been having like the FIFA Interactive World Cup for years. It's been going on, and esports are just getting bigger, so it makes sense for them. I feel really bad. I can't remember where they are in the Premier League right now, but I feel like they've got the possibility of top 4. I feel like West Ham were up there. They were doing well. So for them to sign a player to become an esports player, it could set the trend for others. Because when you look at things like KSI has been going around and playing football games for a few years with actual footballers. So the footballers themselves are into the gaming thing. They have tournaments all the time. So it just makes sense for a club to, like Monster Energy Drink will sponsor an esports team.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for them to do that, that's just a way of West Ham just kind of setting the trend.
I was going to say, to be fair, it doesn't really have to be related, does it? In effect, to sponsor someone. But
it's just one of those where it just be so sick, like, like, oh yeah, I play esports, I play FIFA, like, I play at a competitive level. Like, yeah, I'm sponsored by Man U. Like, I've got a Man U top. I'm actually signed to Man U to represent them in esports. Like, for a football fan, that's amazing. It doesn't say whether or not this guy is a massive West Ham fan.
Yeah.
It doesn't say how they picked him, but yeah, like, he's there. He's signed to West Ham as an esports player, which is cool. Because then I started to think, like, could it work in other fields? So if they've done this, because in America they must have that with Madden. They must have. Because I wonder if it will be the American football teams are doing it or not. Because esports are bigger over there than they are over here. It's picking up, but I feel like it's not as high profile over here.
Yeah.
That's something we'll have to ask James, I think. Get him to look into it.
I think it's one of those as well. It depends, like, on the games, doesn't it? Like, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just pretty cool. I just like that there are still ways in which the game was developing. So we said about the graphical side, but the competitive side, the amount of money that goes into like these League and Dota tournaments is insane. You've got 17-year-olds that are millionaires.
The way that you can, even YouTube, when you look at YouTube and the people making money off that, like, and it's like,
the thing is, one of those where a lot of the people that are making big bucks on YouTube have been on YouTube for years.
But
you know what I mean? Because I think KSI's, sorry to bring up again, but he's been doing it for 7 years, I think, is something stupid like that. Like, he's been doing it for a while.
But what I mean is, it's the mediums are changing.
Yeah. There's just mad that, you know, for example, there can be people out there that are like really amazing at say Rainbow, but aren't in a clan or anything, so aren't getting to like the esports level. But then one day they play a game and they just like, oh yeah, do you want to play with us? Yeah, sure, I'll play. Then they go to a tournament. You know, they're getting shipped off around the world to play in tournaments. It's just that side of things. It's not even like the making money and being a millionaire, just the experience of going all around the world. And, you know, this guy who's playing FIFA for West Ham are going to pay for him to go around the world and represent them at FIFA tournaments.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's cool, man. I feel my misspent youth wasn't misspent enough. I haven't got my niche game. I'm too much of a basic all-rounder. I feel like I'm gonna take my kids and start training them up in something really niche. I might get Jess on Halo, and get Jade on like Street Fighter.
Oh, wow, Street Fighter, yeah.
Just get them on it. So that when the time comes, Street Fighter 2025, Jade is there.
Fully trained.
She's there. The thing is that their Pokemon training's like kind of slowed down a bit. They still play it, but it's just, it's kind of chilled out a bit. Just because Jada just wants to catch so many Bidoofs.
Oh, wait.
I'm just letting her catch them. It's like, cool, baby, if you want 200 Bidoofs, as long as you can fund the Pokeballs to fund your habit, that's fine.
Okay.
Bidoof. So yeah, and I added in the little mention of Pokemon for the segue. On Halo, there's this guy who's been making like he's been using the Forge Maker to make different like modes to chuck into Halo. So his name's Captain Direwolf, and he's made a mode of Halo, this 1v1, but he's put Pokemon into it. So it basically works like paper, scissors, stone, or rock, paper, scissors.
Wait, how do you put Pokemon into it?
This is the thing. This is what he's done. So the way he's done it is that the two of you stand behind like these massive Pokeballs, and then it starts off where you have a red pod, a green pod, or a blue pod, and this is where it works like rock, paper, scissors. So obviously, if you pick green, it beats blue. Pick red, it picks green. Pick blue, it beats red. So that's how it works. Is like that. So then you'll pick whichever pod. Door opens. You see like these Forge built Pokemon that look quite funny, and then they'll attack each other. So whoever's picked the winning one then gets given a sniper rifle to snipe the other person.
Okay.
So yeah, it's one of those where like, and if it's a draw, you both get given sniper rifles, and you have to snipe the other person.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it looks quite cool. I just like that.
A bit different.
Yeah, I like when you find things that people have made inside of another game, like that's how things like Infection started. You know, it was just a mode that was made by a few people on one of the old Halos, and also a mode that's integrated into the main game. Obviously, Pokemon's not going to make it into the main game, but this being able to program like a paper, scissors, stone type game within it, you know, it just, I like that you can have different types of cage match. Do you know what I mean? It starts off like that, but then, you know, will the guy be? I think this same guy made like a Star Wars pod racing themed level as well.
Okay.
So yes, it's pretty cool that he's making these little mini games within a bigger game. But yeah, it's definitely worth looking at. It's interesting for 5 minutes. I don't know what it'd be like to actually play, because I just figured I'd rather stand in front of you and just make the hand singles for paper, scissors, stone.
You can't do that though.
Why can't I?
Pretty sure you can't do that on Halo.
No, I'd rather just do it in real life. Do you know what I mean?
In real life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, to go through, to find the mode, to load it up, to get into the game, to then pick it. Okay, yeah, these are really cool. And then like, one of us gets a sniper rifle and shoots the other.
You can't really do that online though.
We can get a few more games through. I feel like we can Skype video chat. Boop, boop, boop.
Okay.
Boop, boop, boop. I'm just saying, you can get a lot more games through than what the Halo thing was doing. But I just thought it was a really cool idea of what the guy done. Was all. So I've been buzzing through this because the main topic is here. Battlefield 1 versus Infinity Warfare. Now, there was a conversation with the Wolfpack over the trailer of Battlefield 1. Some of the group are really excited for it. A particular member of the group has pissed all over the chips.
I didn't piss on anyone's chips, man. I was just saying I'm not getting hyped for the trailer.
Okay.
Because Like, it's a trailer. It's supposed to sell it to you. It doesn't really show you anything. I'm gonna wait until they show me gameplay. Actual gameplay.
Why don't you allow yourself to get a little bit happy?
Because no.
You like Battlefield. You
No,
enjoy the
because
franchise.
every time I'm happy, I just get disappointed.
The thing is, I get Hardline, but you can't really, because your two things were about Hardline and Star Wars, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I feel like you can't include Star Wars
Yeah, I can.
because it wasn't Star Wars Battlefield or Battlefield Star Wars.
You know what, yeah. That's just a bad fucking thing, though, because if you look at it, it's just Battlefield in a Star Wars universe.
Because no, it is. The thing is, they ruined the Battlefront name.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that, but it's that
not a
thing
Battlefield
of...
game.
No, I know, but it's still essentially a Battlefield game.
But it's actually not a Battlefield game.
So it's just made by... It plays like Battlefield. It's made by the people that make Battlefield.
It's the kilt. It's the kilt of the.
It's got the same publishers as Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
It's got classes like Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
It's got customization like Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
But it's not Battlefield. Like I'm saying to you, it is the kilt of the Battlefield world. Kilt is not a skirt.
It is.
Battlefront is not a skirt.
Is.
The thing is, those that know me, remember Haddy used to always like laugh at it all the time, is that I am not a person that is a fan of playing games in the World War era. But I'm kind of at a point where this could be alright. It'll be a change.
The thing is, yeah, this is the thing. I'm not saying the game is going to be shit. Yeah? I'm just saying I'm not getting hyped over a trailer that is supposed to create hype and sell a game, but doesn't actually show anything other than pre-rendered footage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It looks cool. I hope it's really fucking good. Don't get me wrong. I think even the setting, I think, looks fucking good. Like, because I was a bit like, World War One is gonna be a bit, trenches and shit.
All right, Uncle Payne.
Yeah, I don't want to get hyped over a trailer until I see what they're actually going to do, because I've seen loads of YouTubers put out like a trailer breakdown, but it's all just assumptions.
What are they actually breaking down?
Yeah, exactly. They're just assuming everything, and realistically, what's the point in assuming things when you don't have the facts? Like, they show you battleships and stuff. You don't know whether you're going to be in it, controlling it, just calling in a bombardment from it. Like, anything. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, like, when you assume...
You make an arsehole out of you.
And?
No, just you. Make an arsehole out of
When you assume, you make an asshole out of Jace. So,
yeah.
If ever there was a deterrent, that's it. Jesus Christ. The thing is, it's one of those where I think about certain things. So again, it'd be really cool to get like a different setting. But the thing that gives Battlefield its niche and separates it from Call of Duty and other games is the vehicle warfare, like amongst all the first person shooting stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously when you go back in time,
there's not as much tech.
No, and the tech was really slow and really shit.
I mean, think about it. They will probably have horses, the fact that they've shown it. But
that's the thing, but where is that a good thing?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, we're getting Red Dead Redemption. We'll be able to ride horses. We'll be fine.
But the thing is, the reason I think it's good in general to take it to a different era, I was sort of hoping Vietnam, I'll be honest, because it's that sort of in-between. Like, but it might make other developers think, you know what? Maybe this, like, present day and going into the future with jetpacks and shit and making another Halo game and calling it something different, like, maybe they can change that. Do you know what I mean? And go from the played out sort of scenarios and stuff like that to somewhere new.
The problem is we're going to end up in a situation where they're trying to make it, they're trying to reboot it, make it a bit more fresh by changing the era and stuff. But the only issue I see is that we're going to get to a point where you're playing a game, you take a shot, and then you have to reload the gunpowder, put the shot back in, pat it down.
Oh shit, you're talking about muskets.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to get to that point.
That's not World War One.
No, but I just feel like with them going back, that's what we're going to end up with. Do you know what I mean? Like, eventually we're going back to, the Renaissance.
That's the
Like
thing.
Call of Duty, Renaissance Warfare. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's why for me, I was hoping more Vietnam. Do you know what I mean? Because it's that thing of Vietnam, you got the technology. It's sort of in between stages, isn't it? You've not got like your you did have fighter jets, but then you still got your propeller planes. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. I like the way that the first Black Ops, Call of Duty, the first Black Ops they had done, because they kind of went through the years a bit, didn't they? But they kind of stayed in like an average period. So none of the weapons were too advanced, but none of them were too far behind. It was all kind of.
The thing is, it's not like you had bolt action snipers in it. Sort of thing, unless you're sniping, obviously. Whereas, like, realistically, when you think about it, it's World War One for Battlefield now. You're just gonna have bolt action snipers, because unless they're gonna, and the thing is, customization on guns and things like that. Where are they gonna go with it? Are they gonna just make shit up?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying be historically accurate. Don't get me wrong, but it's one of those where I don't see what they're going to do with it, because, I mean, it's going to be odd having your bolt action sniper rifle with an ACOG.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
the thing that'd be interesting is, obviously, for the last few Battlefields, they've had betas for them. So, when do Battlefields normally, don't they normally release them around October time?
A little bit before, yeah.
So, hopefully summer we'll get like a nice beta to play through, and I'll be able to kind of have a look and see what's what.
Like I say, until I see actual gameplay footage or get to play it, I sort of don't see the point in being hyped yet, because I just don't want to be like disappointed as fuck with it.
I think a thing that will kind of, like, back in that era, it was really just dingy and dark and dull times. So I just imagine that the colours you're going to see are just going to be so bland.
Know what, though?
I think back to like the original Medal of Honor.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I hope they sort of bring that fucking grittiness. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, I just like to have the occasional level where, that's what I loved about, say, Favelas. Having levels like that, and just having random bits of colouring and whatever. But yeah, that's just my personal preference.
I was gonna say, personally, I love like atmosphere, which is why I sort of like horrors, even though I'm fucking shit at them. But I like that sort of like, I don't know. Yeah.
So obviously we've got the Battlefield side. Before the Battlefield trailer came out, the Call of Duty Infinity Warfare, obviously they released their trailer. Now the thing that I love about this trailer is that it was released on May the 2nd. So 6 days before this podcast, and it's had 12 million views. Of those 12 million views, it has had 851,000 dislikes. Like, I think the people have had enough of their shit.
Well, it's that thing, isn't it, where, like Sprees and Beans have said that they think that they've sort of clocked that duty is sort of dying, and they're trying, like, and that's what the reason for the Call of Duty 4 thing is for, because, like, it's that thing of where they can argue, you're getting 2 games for 1, but realistically, I bet you the majority of people that do go and play Call of Duty 4 would rather have just bought that on its own, rather than paying £90 for both the games.
That's the problem. They're like holding, like your little sister hostage. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
not really, because I don't have a sister, but...
Well, they're holding the tap dancing dog hostage, and they're saying that the only way to get the tap dancing dog back is to buy a pig that they have.
Why would I buy a pig to save a dog?
But this is the thing. Why would you buy Infinity Warfare to play Call of Duty 4?
Exactly.
There we go. The thing is, I was looking at some stuff, and some eagle-eyed people have noticed that some of the death animations in the trailer match the exact same animation as was used in Modern Warfare. So people are saying, like, after 9 years, that there's been things about, the lazy programming and stuff, but stuff like that just takes the Michael. Do you know what I mean? It's really annoying seeing that, do you know what it is? They're being like, I don't know, like Peter Andre. Just they had Call of Duty 4 and it was amazing, and they just keep singing Mysterious Girl to us.
It's that thing, isn't it? Where like it's almost as if they've sat there and been like, how can we make more sales? And then they've gone, well, we still got like some animations from like Call of Duty 4. Like, let's not actually work on it. Let's just retexture.
Because it was even like the way that they took certain warehouses and put it into different campaigns, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was just like, some people were like, oh, maybe it's an Easter egg, but other people were like, no, like, if there's going to be an Easter egg, this isn't it. Like, this is not good enough. And it's just, I just think it's such a shame that.
You know what? I don't think it's a shame for the game sort of thing or anything like that. I think it's a shame for like people that like Call of Duty and play it, because to be honest, it's that thing where Activision, like, they're sort of doing that EA thing where it is just straight up, you are like money to us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we don't give a fuck about giving you like decent quality. We just want your money. Like,
I think so. If you look back to when they first started the Call of Duty Elite thing and they had like a whole year's calendar worth of stuff, like the first year that they'd done that Call of Duty Elite, it was actually worth having. And since then, it's just been like, has there been any point in having a season pass?
Yeah.
So.
It is. It's just, I just think, I don't like when companies do that. They just treat people like fucking idiots, isn't it? Like, because it's like, you're getting people's money as it is. There's no need to be dickheads about it.
Yeah.
Like,
see, funny you should talk about, money grabbing and being dickheads. Next month, my phone contract runs out, and I'm trying to look at what to get next. So I've been looking around. And I've been an iPhone user for quite a while. I did get the Samsung Galaxy S4, I think, a few years back. Didn't really get on with the Android technology and just decided, you know what, I'll just go back to Apple. So went back to Apple. And I've noticed there's been a thing talking about the iPhone 7. So just a few like rumours and bits of news coming up. And we reported back a little while back about how iPhone are taking away the 3.5mm jack.
yeah.
So they'll be using just their lightning cable port for all attachments, which means that when it comes to getting headphones and stuff, unless you've got Bluetooth ones, you're going to have to buy Apple's tech. And I'm just like, I'm looking through all the different things that they're talking about, and they're talking about upping the different models. You get them. Well, the iPhone 5C is smallest is 8 gig, then it goes 16 gig, 32, 64, 128. So they're talking in leaks. There's discussions of there being a 256 gigabyte model. And it's one of these things where it's like, it sounds like, oh yeah, they're giving us more space, but the price difference in a 16 gig model to 256,
ridiculous.
like, I've been saying it quite a few times since just before Christmas, that my next phone, I'm going back to Android, and I'm just going to stick with it, get used to it. I've just become institutionalized, and I feel like before, Apple still had a lot of things that made me stay. Whereas now I'm just kind of like, do you know what? I want to get a smartwatch next year. I'd rather get like a Samsung Galaxy Gear or something.
I think the thing is with Android, it's that thing to me, you have more options. And like, fair enough, it's the same software, but in terms of like quality and stuff, you have that more variation and stuff. Like, you can buy cheap or expensive.
Yeah.
Whereas like Apple is just Apple, innit?
The thing with the iPhone that I liked is that it was so simple, and when it comes to the features in regards to like customizing your phone and stuff, because I could jailbreak it, I could have, I could get it to do the things that you could do in Android, even though I shouldn't have had to have unlocked its potential. But the issue that I've had recently, and it seems to be since like iOS, I think we're on 9 now, since like iOS 8, maybe even 7, the issue that I've been having is that the phone is like constantly storing bits of data, so then it then says that it's full. So I'm like, okay, I plug it into my computer, I back it up, I've restored factory settings, I put the backup on there, and then I've got like 5 gigs of space. So it's just where using the phone, it's just storing data and collecting. It's not like it's my conversations on WhatsApp or my media, because they're there when I put the backup on the phone. So it's just one of those things where I've had enough. I said like, I'd rather get a phone that is like 6 gigabytes and then get a micro SD to 64 gigabytes. I'd rather do that, because at least then when I plug it into the computer, I just drag and drop. Because iTunes is a bit of a ball ache.
Okay.
Because, I like to, it's part of me trying to be organised with my music. I like all my stuff to look.
Oh, did you hear about the thing? Seeing as we're going on about it.
Go on then.
QuickTime.
No, what about QuickTime?
I swear that I heard something about they're not supposed to be like continuing support for it or something.
That's the thing, who uses it?
And they're saying like you should uninstall it because where they're not continuing support for it, it'll be a security risk
Okay.
sort of thing. So yeah, there you go.
Give them have it on it, But yes, it's just one of those things where I feel like Apple, RIP Steve Jobs, he kind of kept things in check, and I feel like since he passed and his ideals, they're slowly pulling away from it, because he was all about uniform. That's why from the original like iPod Touches and the original iPhones up to like the iPhone 4, they were all the same dimensions, the screens. He didn't want it to change. And I feel like they've been kind of changing things, obviously, because he's gone now. And it's one of those things where I feel like they're changing it for the worst. There's things as well where they're acting prestige when, again, we're in, like you said, with Android, there are so many different models you can get.
Yeah.
That run an Android software. So it's just one of those where, I'm pretty much done with Apple, and I'm hoping to get an S7, but I think, is it you and Spreeze have the Xperia, or?
Yeah,
I think Ellis has got it as well.
Yeah, I got the compact, the Z5.
Okay. So yeah,
but it's that thing as well where you're on about smartwatches. Again, a lot more variation, isn't there?
Yeah.
So it's like when we was going on about, what was it, the Motorola flat tire?
Yeah.
And that looks pretty cool. I do actually like the look of that, but yeah.
That's the thing, it's just trying to roll upon secure technology. So yeah, iPhone 7's coming out, and I am not excited. But it's one of those where I think that it's also, looking at loads of phone companies, like the Samsung Galaxy S7, the iPhone 7. But guys, can we just come up with something new? I know back in the day we had like the Nokia 3210s, like you had the 32 series, had the 51 series, had the 52 series. Like I get we had that, but I just kind of feel like, can't we change it a bit, and can't we give these things a technology that lasts longer than a year and a half?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you get a contract for 2 years, and then for the last 6 months of having your phone, you're just like, why are there so many issues with this technology?
Yeah, it's almost like nothing is built to last, isn't it?
One thing that
is cool. Need a phone like
one thing that is cool with phones though is like I was looking at the iPhone 7. I think they've got, did they say it's gonna have like 6 cores, a new more powerful 6-core processor, like in a phone, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it's just good to see. I think the thing that's geared me towards the S7 is durability. It's supposed to be waterproof and stuff, so I feel like that's in fairness, actually, I think my phone has been submerged in water 3 or 4 times and it still works. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, moving on to this week's WhatsApp. There were quite a few games we've been playing this week, so I'm gonna, obviously I can't mention them all at once. So this week I thought I'd go with one that's a bit relevant at the moment. So Battleborn have got an app, Battleborn Tap. Now, a few years back, not very far back, I started playing a game called Tap Titans on my phone. And it's quite a simple little game where literally you tap the screen, and as you're tapping the screen, you're defeating the mob that's in front of you. Now, Battleborn, I don't think that Tap Titans is the first of its kind, because that's the first one I remember playing. Now, with Battleborn, it's one of those games where you're tapping the screen, and you're defeating the mobs on the right-hand side of the screen from Battleborn. And as you're tapping them, you're collecting shards. The more shards you collect, you can upgrade your tap's damage, but then you can also buy Battleborn. So you can buy the characters from the game, and then they kind of stand on the left side of the screen, and they're just attacking. But as they're attacking the other side is attacking them. So they kind of, if they get defeated, there's like a cooldown until they respawn. It's one of those games where it's just so simple. You can just sit there watching the TV, tapping the screen. You don't have to put too much effort into it.
Yeah.
As you play through, there's like 10 waves, and then you've done a level. Once you've done 20 levels, it changes where you are, but like the enemies are getting progressively harder. Once you get to 30, you're able to prestige. So this is what they had in Tap Titans as well, where, like with everything, you prestige, wipe it, go all the way back to the beginning. But what they do is they give you like this special currency that you can unlock, like upgrades that will affect everything as you go on. So you might get something that does global damage plus 20%. So you start it again, but everything you do has 20% more damage.
Okay, so you're not really completely losing everything.
No,
sort of
no.
thing.
So yeah, it's pretty cool because you start off with just like shards and single units. Then it goes up to like 3 point whatever K. Then it's like 3.5 mil. Then 3.5 bill. Then 3.5 trill. And I don't know what comes after that because I haven't played it long enough to get past that. I keep prestiging because I'm just trying to get the upgrades first. Because it's one of those where at the beginning you get through it quite quick. Then when you get to like hitting stage 50, it becomes a real grind. They've got a thing on there so that there's like a premium currency on there, which you can pay for, but you don't need to. And as you're playing through the game and getting the achievements, each achievement, when you claim the prize, you get this premium currency. Then you can use it to open these little boxes, which again will give you upgrades for the different Battleborn characters. So they each have 3 slots, and it goes from like common to epic. So there's just loads of little bits in there that they can keep you going. I quite like it. The way that it's got the, with on the beta when we played it, like Oscar Mike makes certain comments and stuff like that. As you're playing, if you got Oscar Mike, when he's doing his attacks, you might hear him every now and again saying reloading or making loads of little comments whilst it's just there. So they've done a few little things, kept a bit of the personality in there. The graphics wise, they've made it like really nice and it's really colourful, but it's in a cartoon graphic, not like a 3D one. And it just all seems to work really well. And it's one of those ones where I can just give it to the girls for 20 minutes and they'll just tap the screen happily for ages, defeating all the monsters and beating the bosses.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, like it's a good little game. It's definitely worth having a look. It's, do you know? It must be on Android because it's Battleborn. It won't be iOS only. I'll be surprised if it is. It'll only be for a little bit, but definitely worth having a look at because it's a nice easy toilet game or on the bus or whatever because you don't have to put your full attention onto it. You can still progress while still getting on with other things. At the same time, if you buy like your team and you've got it, so you've got 4 units there, you can just leave it doing this thing and collecting money for you. And then also, if you go away and come back to the game, it's collecting money for you at the same time. So there's always something going on and you're always progressing in it, which is pretty cool. I think if I had to give it a score, there's nothing amazing about it, but I think that the way it looks, the way it sounds, and just how easy it is to play is a 7 out of 10 watts for me, I think.
Okay, that's quite high.
Yeah, that's the thing, there's nothing that I can see wrong with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not amazing, but I haven't played it and gone, oh, this is broke, do you know what I mean? It works really well, it's really simple, does what it should do. And yeah, it's really great. I'm going to quickly do the spin. So we've had Laura Beale, whose birthday it was last week. Happy birthday, Laura. We didn't claim the prize. What a letdown. And then we had Christine Helsinki. Yeah, I don't even know who that is, but Christine did not claim her prize either. Do you know who Christine Helsinki is? No, you do not. Okay, that's fine.
Should I?
No. I'm just saying, like, Christine Helsinki, she was our second winner. She didn't claim the prize.
No, I just don't know. It's just the way that, you said that as if I should know. I don't know.
Sorry. Well,
should I know?
So, no, I don't think you should. So I'm just about to do another spin. So this is our 3rd spin, okay? Ugh, this is just getting...
I don't know if I feel rude for not knowing who she is now. But
I'm spinning the wheel. 3rd spin.
Shit.
Here we go. Roll over. And our winner is... Okay, it's Tom Bond, aka Pum Pum. So, Pum Pum, if you listen to the show, all you got to do is get in touch with me, and you get to claim your retro-style Mario fridge magnets made by Kendall James at iCandy. So yeah, get in touch, mate, before Saturday, before we do another rollover, basically.
If we do another rollover, can I put my name on it?
Do you know what? I think that if we manage to get all the way through and nobody claims it, then we can fight to the death for it.
To the death, yeah?
To the death, yeah.
Is that really what you want?
That's the thing, actually, because I either die or I have to do the show by myself. Just cut my nose off to spite my face, aren't I, really?
Exactly.
Maybe we'll go on Halo 5 and play Pokemon for it.
We don't have Halo 5.
We'll buy Halo 5, find the mode in Forge, and then we'll play for it. How's that sound?
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so, Tom, aka Pum Pum, get in touch, mate. Claim it. We're speaking to Jill the other day, Squeak, and she said, like, she's still got her remote control car. She hasn't given it away. She hasn't got it out of the box. It's a collector's item at the moment.
Oh, wow.
It's sat there just, like, it's increasing in value for every day that goes on. Increasing in value. Okay, so guys, you can find us on the relative media. You can find us on Twitter at @uwatt_. Get us on Facebook, facebook.com/uwattpodcast. We're on Podomatic, uwatt.podomatic.com. We're on YouTube as well, youtube.com/uwatt. If you want to catch our blog, it's uwatt.tk. If you want to get at us and abuse us or take some abuse yourself, start the conversation with uwattmail@gmail.com. As always, uwatt is spelt UWatt.
Are we that abusive? I don't think we're that bad.
Well, we give as good as we get.
Back in the day, if you started.
I just remember we were really organised with that. It was like, please send all hate mail to @squeak.
Yeah.
And then you'd just be sending us snapshots of like these conversations people having with you.
I should just give out my gamer tag to everyone.
That's the thing, it's like abusing me, giving you a game tag, and you just come and just get random abuse. Okay, sorry, didn't you have something on Facebook once as well, like just in like your archived messages?
Yeah, I don't even know. I just racial slurs and shit, man. It's like shit. That's about 4 years old. I can't come with a comeback now, but I would have back then. Like,
oh shit, man. So yeah, any messages for the people, Squeak? I've got a question. I just didn't know if you had any messages for anyone.
To those that organised last weekend, it was good, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think they did a fucking really good job.
Shout out to the lads. Amazing weekend. Absolutely amazing.
It's one of those, like, people said it in the chat and stuff, but I ain't really one to hop on a bandwagon, so I left it.
And I hear that. That's cool. So yeah, so this week's question I wanted to ask. So earlier we've seen that like quite a few games have been inducted into the Video Game Hall of Fame. Do you have a game that you feel is worthy of being entered to the Video Game Hall of Fame? So, like, I can't remember what the game was called. You know, like the classic Donkey Kong where Mario was like jumping up the ladders and going to the top, jumping the barrels, yeah?
Oh yeah.
There was a next one with like Donkey Kong, like the baby, Junior, and he like went along ropes and had to avoid the crocodiles and get to the top.
Snake.
You think Snake? That's not bad.
Snake.
That's not
Think
bad.
about it. That was the very first mobile game. And
so there we go. So those are our suggestions. What would you want to see inducted into the Hall of Fame? Let us know. Comment on the YouTube. Tweet us. Email us. Whatever. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Squeak, you have no more messages? Just want to clarify?
That's it.
Okay. So, as always, I've been Jace. He's been Squeak. And we'll see you next week.
Later.